Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. I just want to talk to you about what I would call chocolate atheism, and I'll explain to you what that term means in a minute. The idea of chocolate atheism is that atheism in itself, with its own definition, is not really attractive to people. It doesn't really answer the major existential questions or supply the need of existential needs. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that you have a definition of atheism, which is an absence of belief due to a lack of evidence concerning God. Okay, so now the atheist takes this definition and this position, but the problem is it doesn't actually answer some of the big existential questions of life, of really where we came from, why are we here, what are we supposed to do with our lives. Okay, and then secondly, that definition doesn't actually meet the existential personal needs an individual person has, such as the need for significance, the need for purpose, etc. So what has happened is there is a movement now of people within atheism where they recognize actually atheism isn't actually meeting these needs, isn't answering these questions, so we need atheism plus. And so there are atheists who are starting new different movements and putting atheism and humanism together, or atheism and secularism together, or atheism and Buddhism together, or atheism and feminism together, and they're trying to give some more content so that atheism with its plus sign on it can meet the existential questions and the existential needs that people have. But what that should tell you is that atheism on its own is bankrupt, that it cannot answer the major questions, that it cannot answer provide for the needs of the existential issues in our lives. So where do we go from here? Well, it's kind of like atheism is kind of like a plain biscuit. You know, your biscuit that you have that you dip into your tea. It's just plain, it's ordinary, and the atheists are realizing that the plain old biscuit is just not attracting anybody. It's not as attractive. So what they've done is they've got the biscuit and they've coated it with chocolate, and they've made their biscuits look like chocolate biscuits, so that people can say, wow, these are chocolate biscuits, we want a chocolate biscuit. And so I would call it chocolate atheism. It's atheists realizing that atheism is not meeting the needs of people existentially, and giving it a chocolate coating, trying to make it attractive to people by having atheist plus, or trying to bring in a bit of Buddhism like Sam Harris does with his Buddhist meditation techniques, or trying to bring in some kind of secular issues alongside atheism, and then giving it a bit more of a solid content, so they think. So what do we think of the chocolate atheism? Basically it's just melting away. Even the chocolate atheism that springs up is really an admittance of defeat. It's an admittance really that actual atheism actually, when looking at it, doesn't actually deal with the big questions. So it's a fail before we even begin. But these chocolate atheists that are going around today with the atheism plus and whatever they want to else call it, with the various moral issues, will continually be found to be morally bankrupt. They'll continually bring the moral fibre of our nations into pieces. The reason being is because in the end, chocolate atheism will always descend into relativism. There will never be any objective morality with chocolate atheism. With atheism plus, or any other different type of atheism, it will always descend into relativism. That's where the atheism will always end. No matter what variety it comes to, it will always come to moral relativism. And might I remind you that if you have moral relativism, where everybody says what is right in their own eyes, and there is no real right and wrong, in the end you'll have anarchy and moral collapse. And that's what we're beginning to see these days. Moral anarchy is growing, moral collapse is growing, and it's a direct result because people are being influenced by this relativism and atheism cannot escape relativism too. Thank you for listening, and God bless you. Beware of chocolate atheism. If you take it, it will melt in your hands. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.